Okay, so elephant walks, once I started doing them, they had such a great effect on my back and my hips and everything. And then I was able to create a few advanced versions that have really helped my hips and everything like that. But I think the thing about elephant walks is people try them, like them, and then they leave them because they don't think they're important. But I think it's very important to continue with them and then to do the advanced versions. But the very first thing, a standard which any person should be able to do if they're not severely injured, is to be able to
get down to the floor with their palms and be able to straighten their legs. So what I like to do is I like to do anywhere from 40 to 60 to 100 double leg pulses. That's what I call these. So I'm only going to do 40 right now for the video, okay? But I strongly recommend you start off doing anywhere from 60 to 100 of these until they're just super easy, okay? So, and you can bend down as deep as you want, but keep the rhythm going. And if you lean over more, you might get some nice releases, clicks and pops in your back and neck and legs and hips and everything. Okay, I'm not sure how many that is, but we'll say it's getting close to 40. If it isn't, that's fine. Okay, so the next thing I do is I do single leg pulses like this. One, and then I bend this one and I straighten the other one. And I lock it out. And you can bend over as far as you want. And so let's say I did 60, or let's say I did 40 double leg pulses. I'll only do 40 of these in total, so that'll be 20 on the left leg and 20 on the right leg. And I'll show you why in a minute. So I love doing these. Okay, so I don't think I'm near 40, but we'll pretend I've done 40. 38, 39, 40. And then what I like to do is, instead of these elephant walk stretches, I like to do these single leg pulses. So I've got my left leg straight here. I turn my hands this way, and then I keep this leg straight, my right leg is bent, and then I pulse down like this for 40 pulses. And because I'm turned, my body, you'll really feel it in your hip here, which is good for your hips. And then I'll go to the other side. Now, a really important thing that I forgot to mention at the very start is the fact that if this is too hard for you, you can't reach down to the floor, you can do regressions on a chair, on cushions, and I'll show those in a second, but I want to get in my 40 pulses here, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so now that I've done those single leg pulses, now what I want to do is, instead of the elephant walk bends, is I'm going to just do double leg pulses like this. And sometimes I'll double the amount of these that I've done of everything else. So I've done 40 of everything else, so I might do 80 of these in my own workouts, but I'll just do 40 for this video. Okay, so that should be the standard where you can keep your hands on the floor.
Oh, that feels good. Okay, so when doing elephant walks, the standard is to be able to
Bend down, touch the floor, and then do the elephant walk stretches and bends like this. But that might be way too hard in the beginning for a lot of people. So start with the chair. There's no shame in, you know, start where you're at. Wherever you have to start, that's where you start. And you just do the same exercises. Doubles, singles, and then you do single pulses. So you might have to move your chair over like this. Straighten out this leg and bend the right leg, and then stretch. Oh, there we go. And then move the chair over and straighten this leg and stretch down this way. So whatever you have to do is what you do, and then you just eventually get lower. Go to 3 cushions and do your routine. Your routine like this, and then the singles, then the single pulses, and then the double pulses, and then you just go lower and lower until you can reach the floor. Once you can do the floor, then we'll add on the advanced variations, which is really where you want to get to. And so what is an advanced variation, you might ask? Well, that's a good question. Actually, here we go. So an advanced variation would be to do the elephant walks on a slant board like this. And do all your exercises like that. And then do the pulses like this. Oh, I can really feel those. And then you're really going to feel those in your hips, which is awesome. And then going back to on the floor, you can do some good things like doing plie elephant walks. So your heels are together and you're doing like a traditional ballet version, doing the plie like this as far as you can get your feet apart. That's going to work your hips and your knees and ankles. It's really good for them. It's sometimes tricky to hold your balance, so for a lot of people, and you know, you might have to start with a cushion until you get the flexibility and balance that you want to do these. And then lastly, you can do, you know, and I don't do all of this on the same day. I used to, but it took so long I never got anything else done. So I would do a variation like straight on one day, the plie on a different day, and then pigeons like this on another day, and go through everything. Go through doubles, go through singles, all pigeon, go through single pulses like this. You really feel these in the hips, which is great. It means you're gaining hip flexibility and strength. And then double pulses, and I really feel those pulling in the hips. Okay, so once you get all that stuff done, then you can start doing even more advanced elephant walks raised up. So now I have my little step up here, step up bench, and you know, when I get into the elephant walk position, you may have noticed I always bend my legs. You can do it by bending straight over, but I always find it's a little more comfortable, and I don't feel like I'm going to fall over, especially if I'm just starting. I'll bend my knees, touch down, and then stretch out and do my whole routine like this. And of course you can do the plies, raised. You can do the pigeons raised, and every level is gonna give you increased
strength and range and flexibility. And over time, that'll especially if you have a sitting job, that'll definitely free up your hips, and you won't have such hip pain, and because your hips will be stronger and a lot more flexible. Okay, so that's pretty much the whole, all the versions for the elephant walk stretch and pulses.